were forced to abandon the village of Semois to the 4th Infantry Division. And we see the pack creeping forward slowly, hoping to get a good shot on the Shermans, or at least discourage them from entering out of the village. German troops once more recuperating, and we see a Panther is on the way for the German army. No further veterancy though for the armored units. Grenadier is trying to seize the central victory point, but Germans are quick to react, though taking fire from the pack and of course forced to retreat once more, since they can't take a lot at the moment due to the increased bonuses that will keep repeating for 3 shots on the packs, but that will be changed for the next patch with only 1 cloaked shot. Although that does not mean the pack can just be ignored, but it does make it a lot less lethal. Ostwind moving in to protect the pack, opening fire on the American infantry, and we see a sniper moving in as well, opening fire on the Rangers. And we hear the Panther chiming in, ready for battle, charging ahead. And we hear artillery fire going in once more, although this time not hitting anything. In fact, much to the German commander's joy, I imagine. Ostwind charging in, no support. Shermans hanging back, not keen on exposing themselves to the pack, or I suspect this Panther once they know of its existence. Sherman, Ostwind and Panther now dealing with this American infantry, keeping them at bay. Panther actually scoring a kill. Sherman moving in to try and open fire on the Panther, penetrating the frontal armor, and bazookas doing so as well. And we see howitzers being targeted on the armored position, forcing them to retreat, as well as the pack. Unless it wants to get completely knocked out, it gets out of there, and the Shermans apparently not going in for a concerted effort against the Panther. One in fact being taken out for an assault through the north, but it's getting targeted by numerous Panzerschrecks, and is in fact wrecked since it was not provided with sufficient infantry protection. Only a few engineers to conduct emergency repairs, not a wise decision. And we see a off-map combat group being called in, M10 tank destroyer and a few riflemen with a mortar to deal with the German situation around the village. Germans moving into the north, dual Grenadier teams, although one is rather damaged. Armor still holding out in the center, but no further veterancy, although further pioneers apparently, since some have been lost in the fighting. And we see the armored assets of the Americans ranging around in the center, patrolling ever so slowly. Ostwind moving in to deny the Americans this fuel point and force them back. And we see the Sherman moving in, charging ahead, exposing itself to Panzerschreck fire. No infantry to actually provide a cover, although some riflemen are moving in, although it might be too late. And in fact, veterancy 2 for this Sherman, and then knocked out. Ignominious end, not good. And we see this, I don't know which number of German counterattacks has been once more thwarted by American artillery, which is in fact what happened a lot during the war. Germans attacked and then got attacked by artillery, rather ruining the entire attack. Of something you see mentioned a lot, although again air support was also mentioned, but I do recall artillery being mentioned more, in particular near the beaches. Naval artillery doing a lot of damage. But that's enough for now. I think now only down to a Wolverine and nothing else really in terms of armor assets. Some infantry teams sneaking ahead as well. We see the Grenadiers moving out as well. Larger squad this time, composed of 3 former teams. In the south, the pack is moving into the center again, and the German panzers are getting repaired. Nothing to actually hold back the Germans. It seems to accept a mortar and a tank destroy a few riflemen. Oh, a sniper too. And we hear Howard is going in once more, going most likely for what he knew was there previously and hoping it is still there. And indeed it is, but they might get out there in time, except for this pioneer team, which is blown to pieces and one being sent into the murky depths of this ditch. Fighting going on in the north. One Grenadier team suffering heavily, but the others doing well and causing a lot of grievous harm to these riflemen, forcing them back, while another team is seizing this munitions point. Not sure what has been set up here. Engineers with bazookas, it seems, going to act as an anti-tank outpost, it seems. And we also see a Panzer IV being moved in to support the Germans. Not bad, not bad. Panther charging ahead. Nothing else to support. There are no Ostwind or Panzer IV. And the Panther exposing its rear to the M10. Bad move, bad move, bad move. And now we also see sticky bombs and further bazooka rounds going off on the Panther. Engine destroyed, leaving the Panther awfully vulnerable. Panzer IV though moving in, opening fire on the rear of the M10, and the Panther knocking out the M10. Nice maneuver, although the Panther is dangerously exposed and might be lost in this exchange, which would certainly not be a good one, in fact. Panzer IV though bravely dealing with the engineers in this building, and they might be forced to retreat and really should get out of there, in fact, but do not, instead staking out with the bazookas, damaging the Ostwind a bit, but it's now being repaired. Panther further receiving sticky bombs, very low health, immobilized and engines destroyed. It's not going to go anywhere, in fact, and one more sticky bomb and it is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Further armor moving in to try and protect it, but oh, the sticky bomb did not do anything, so I was wrong there a bit. And the Panther miraculously survives, while the riflemen are forced to pull out under a thick storm of Panzerschreck rockets and tank fire. Recuperating in the north, while Infantry 2 is upgraded for the German armor. Not going to give anything except machine gunners for the tank, which for the most part are in fact not going to do much unless it's a Stuhlgurke Geschützwagen, otherwise they're mostly negligible. Another off-mag combat group, numerous anti-tank guns, a machine gun and a rifle team, not bad, will certainly be able to do a lot of damage to these tanks. Engine destroyed on the Ostwind, and these 57mm anti-tank gun is for some reason just charging ahead, but is now knocking out the Ostwind, and the Panzer IV will have to get out of there before taking further shots, and it is now to below 50% health. Will it be completely wrecked? Perhaps, perhaps not. Pioneer still repairing the highly immobilized Panther. And the Panzer IV pulling back apparently as well to receive repairs from the same team once the Panther is fixed, or at least able to move to a safer position. German troops seizing this munitions point. The American having lost his hold on the center, apparently not having anything to really support his troops, no machine guns or mortars until it was too late, but still going for the peripheral points. When we see another attack being led by the Germans, while the Americans are slowly inching themselves through the center. Panzer IV pulling back further, and the Panzer holding the line, but receiving anti-tank gun fire now, forced to pull back once more. Pack trying to hit the American infantry, but not really doing anything. In fact, getting counter-fired on by the other American anti-tank guns. But a Grenadier team has moved in, and dual panzer strikes completely wrecks the gun, killing the crew in the process. Grenadiers pulling out due to heavy grenade and sniper fire. German tanks holding around this victory point, not doing anything. And Rangers forced to pull back from the south, although looks like the majority of the victory points are currently in the hands of the 4th Infantry Division. Certainly not bad, but they might have suffered too much attrition at this moment. One cannot continue while Gaurav is still floating plenty of manpower, fuel and munitions. All quiet, a small brief lull in the fighting as repairs are conducted and troops moving into position, but once more fighting breaks out. Grenadiers standing right out in the open, exposing themselves to a lot of fire and pulling back, while the riflemen in this the center getting hit by a German sniper, not American. And things are not looking good, it seems, for the American, although I suppose he might still have a chance to pull it around. And we hear the GG from AlCOHOLic. Might be he gives up the fight, having decided he cannot overcome the 352nd, and indeed moving out. Good game and a victory for Gaurav, who has in fact been floating a lot of munitions and manpower. So of course, what to learn? Well, what to learn is, among other things, be aggressive with the harassment, as our good friend AlCOHOLic did a good job of showing, constantly keeping Gaurav off his wrong foot. And of course, for Gaurav, try and protect your points, establish some minor security points, and keep a reserve to rush to either point. What for the Americans? Well, I think as some support weapons of beyond of just one mortar and snipers would have certainly been a credit. Perhaps a machine gun, further mine emplacement, perhaps something else, but I'm not sure. And of course, actually defending the points he takes would also have been a great help, I think. Otherwise, a good game, plenty of good things being shown, good mine placement from either side, although the American rather excelled there. Good usage of medical bunkers, good usage of infantry, although he did have a bit of a tendency to sometimes just rush them in. And good armor usage, the American there needing to train a bit, since he did have a tendency of splitting up his tanks and not supporting them properly with infantry. So I hope you enjoyed this game, and if you did, why not subscribe? This is Imperial Dane saying, support your tanks with infantry.